time and for being on time. So we're going to jump right into it. So, what I would ask is just welcome to Small Business Big Contracts. We're going to get into how your small business can look for six-figure contracts on many, many different industries. So, first thing first, when it comes to a little bit of housekeeping, I want to ask for everyone to please put yourselves on mute. I am definitely going to open up the conversation for any questions that you may have. So, if you are on the video conferencing, then you can raise your hand. And by doing that and by typing in the chat box, if you are here with us over the phone, then um, you can also message through that chat and we'll be able to see it here. So I just want you to go ahead and turn off any distractions, commit to the next uh, 35 to 40 minutes where we're going to go over some of these awesome tools that you can use for your business. So commit to this time and know that I am going to open it up for questions at the end. So if you are get disconnected or if you have any issues with the system, then technology is great when it works, but it doesn't always work all the time. So you can always call right back into the room, and you can definitely refresh if you're logging in from your computer. Everybody got me? How about you write yes in the chat box or say yes, you got me? All right, great. Hi, Sherelle. Welcome. All right, and we have a couple. Oh, I noticed Alicia's going to be here. How fun! We have familiar faces in the webinar today, so I love that. Hi, Alicia. Thank you for being here. All right, so we are going to move right into small business big contract. So remember that this is your time. This is a time for you and your business. And I want to remind you that and let you know that you're in the right place if you want more for your brand. You know that you have something to offer. You've been able to find out what is your why, what is the problem that you solve for your business. And now you're ready to try something that's been proven because none of this is theory. You're ready to work smarter, not harder. You always have an option between time versus money and how you operate your business. And this webinar is all about giving you an alternative where you can maximize your time and your energy. So, why would you want to do this? Why would you want to be able to scale your business or to lock in different contracts? Well, it's because you know that you have something to offer the world and you have something to offer your community and your industry. And the reality is that people want what you have. What you have to offer, there's somebody waiting on you to be able to make yourself available to help them with the problem that you solve with your business. Now, the reality is that whatever it is that you're doing right now, it may be able to keep your company afloat, and it might be something that lets you be able to say, I am running a business, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm bringing in some revenue. But at the bottom line, it's not working, and that's why you're looking for an alternative. And I want you to know that you should not give up on your business and what it is that you are offering to the community because you are a fighter. People who are entrepreneurs, people who run small businesses are courageous individuals. They are not the light of heart, and you are not that. So remember that you have that to offer. So old roads will always lead to old outcomes. So this webinar is about giving you an opportunity to try something new, to see something that has been used for years and years. It is a proven concept. It's not something that I made up. It's many, many businesses have been using this for a very long time. So stop doing the same thing, looking for new results, and be open to trying something new for your business so that you're able to scale. So you've been there, you've done that, and now we're going to try something new. A lot of you all are here on the webinar today because I emailed you and told you about a $628,000 RFP reward. So this is now the third time that I'm offering this webinar for free. And I want you to know that the first time that we had the webinar, we had some individuals who got on and were talking, they were very interested in real estate. And then the second time that I did this webinar last month after Vlogmas, we had some individuals who were in construction, people who provided childcare, some people who are in the creative arts and creative professionals. And I want you to know that every single one of the industries that you're in, there's probably an RFP waiting for you. So I want to give you a little bit of information about this $628,000 RFP that was awarded. So this particular RFP was awarded because it was for storage containers. So storage containers, if you don't know what they are the shipping containers that you see on massive ships that ship any number of things from China to here, just long journeys over the water. So this particular person who closed this RFP, what they do is they take shipping containers and they build them out for events. So that's what they do. So with this award, what he was doing is designing the shipping container for the city of Miramar, and the city of Miramar awarded him a $628,000 award. So that's the most recent award that came out of doing this exact webinar that I'm about to show you right now. So let's get into it. This is the plan for today. So our plan for today is that we're going to go over the different keywords that you want to start searching and opening your eyes up to when it comes to being able to close large contracts for your small business. What you need in order to pitch your business to large organizations and industry leaders. Then I want to make sure that I show you some free resources for contracts. So I'm going to show you exactly where you can go and look for regional, local, and federal contracts for your business. I want to make sure that I show you some free resources for nonprofits and where you can find some funding as well, because my nickname is Mini-Mogul Money Magnet, and the reason why is because I know where to find money, and I've been able to close a number of different contracts for my clients. The last thing I want to make sure that you are equipped with are rookie mistakes that kill the deal. So that's our plan for today. I'm going to take you through this. And again, I will open up the floor for any questions that you may have at the end. And I encourage you to ask those questions. And remember that this is not pre-recorded. I really am here. I'm here drinking a Red Bull and having some water and ending my day. So, this time is for you, and I'm 100% here for you. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Vivian Oleden. I'm a marketing advisor. I'm a business owner, and if you know me from social media, you know me as Vivian Olo. So my nickname is Mini-Mogul Money Magnet. If you find me on LinkedIn or Instagram or any of those other platforms, that is my nickname. So you may know me as one of the co-founders of Flourish Media, which is a media company where we provide education resources for small businesses and nonprofits. What we do in Flourish Media is we help businesses to be able to build their online communities through digital resources. And these are just some of the clients that I've worked with through Flourish Media and on my own, because I've been in marketing for over 10 years. So you'll see there that I've worked with the Miami Association of Realtors. I've worked with Coldwell Banker. I've had the pleasure of working with small businesses as they have developed themselves, like the Elevate Leadership Cohort. I've worked with nonprofits like Eyes on Your Mission. I've worked with the number one fabric provider in North America, which is Rex Fabrics. They are responsible for a lot of the beautiful designs that you see on fashion runways. And it warms my heart to say that I've worked with Casa Valentina, which is a nonprofit that provides housing for women who have been victims of abuse. Now, I've also worked with brands like Umbri Rain Gear, which is a product-based business. Umbri Rain Gear, what they've been able to do is they have the patent on umbrellas. And the special thing about these umbrellas is that when water hits the umbrella, it changes color. Isn't that fun? So that means that when they were able to close a contract, while they were my client, they closed a contract with Universal, and that is Universal Studios. They were able to close retail space with Walmart. They were able to close space with a number of retailers, because what they offer and what they offer TD Bank, which is also one of their clients, is the ability to create those umbrellas and then brand those umbrellas so that when water hits the umbrella, it changes color. So it's pretty exciting. I've also been published in the Wall Street Journal, and I've also been a part of different radio shows like 1035 The Beat. So why do you need to know all this? Well, you need to know where my strengths lie. It's important for you to know that I was able to work with Every Strand, which is a hair care product manufacturer here in South Florida, and they looked for me because they were trying to get placement into major retailers. I worked with them for 11 months, and in that 11 months, they were able to close placement inside of CVS, in Burlington Coat Factory, in Walmart, and they were able to close business in Marshalls. So what I do in making sure that people have different resources extends into Behind the Leaf, which is a nonprofit operated by the women of Flourish Media. And we host a conference in February every year talking about branding, visibility, and funding. So this is really my backbone. It's my area of genius. I really know where to find money, and I know how to help you to position yourself so that you stand out and so people can understand your personal brand. When it comes to fundraising, it has a lot to do with being able to position your messaging properly so that when you're working with a larger organization, they understand where you're coming from and they can align with you properly. So that is me, Vivian Oliden. I am the Mini-Mogul Money Magnet, and that is why I have that particular nickname. So we're ready to work smarter, not harder. Can you type it in the chat box, or go ahead and take yourself off mute and let me hear you? You ready to work, everybody? Outstanding. All right, so let's make it happen. All right, so as we're working here, we're going to use some smart strategies to build big business. Many of you may recognize that if you're walking through a CVS, or if you're walking through Walmart, or if you're walking through any number of retailers, that you may recognize the same exact things over and over again. If you've ever been to the airport, or if you've been to a public restroom, you may notice that there is a place, if you're a lady, inside the ladies' restroom where you have a panda. There is a panda that is installed in the bathroom, and that panda device allows you to fold it down out of the wall and you can change a baby's diaper, for example. That opportunity, why you see the same products over and over again, is a result of a contract bid. It is the result of an RFP. So you have to ask yourself, am I going to sell a product or am I going to provide a service? Think about who your customer is and how much are people really willing to pay for this. Now, this is important because you need to understand if RFPs and going after major contracts is the right fit for you and for your business, because many of us may think that we need to sell a customer-based business. We provide a service, and the service that we provide is best fit for one person or one entity. But that is often not true. There's usually a large group of people who need the same exact service, or they need that same exact product. So here are some of the keywords. If you have some pen and paper in front of you, then you want to write this stuff down. The keywords that you want to start searching for when it comes to being able to close major contracts for your business are: number one, an RFP. That is a request for proposal. Oh, I have that interchange. Sorry, guys. It's RFP, not RPF. Then a contractor, temporary, and renewable. Those are some of the words that should really jump out to you. So I'm not going to hold back here. Don't want to waste anyone's time. We'll get right into this. So this is fedbizops.org. This is a example of an RFP that's active right now. I looked, and it's important to understand that fedbiz.gov is a federal location where you can look for contracts that are actually posted every single week. So every week they celebrate the fact that about $5 to $6 million in contracts are posted every single week. So when we look at this one's for Yamaha Boat Motorsports. Now I know that there's times where you maybe make a purchase, or you in your family you'll say, "Oh my God, why did you buy that boat? Why did you buy that RV? Why did you buy that thing?" So this here is the government renting other people's Yamaha Boat Motorsports. So that Ski-Doo that you have in your front yard, this is the government asking for use of your device. Now, the awarded contract for this is 38 $1,000, and that is for them to give you for the purpose of being able to use your device. And if you see here, as you're looking at fedbiz.ops.gov, and I keep saying it because I want you to write it down, is a location where you're able to close these contracts. And every time that you look at this interface, there's some key things that you want to pay attention to. Number one is, when is the contract going to close and when was it posted? Most government contracts are open for 30 days. So as you can see that this one was posted on the 18th of October. So that means that this is going to close most likely on November 18th. Also note that there's an original posting date and then there's the posted date. Many times the government is waiting patiently for people to pursue these RFPs, and when you do not pursue the RFP, that RFP is given an extension. And that's what you see here with this particular RFP. So another RFP that's out right now is for aerial photography. Now, last time we had this webinar last month, we had some creative professionals who asked, well, the government doesn't need my stuff. The government doesn't need leadership training. The government doesn't need for me to show them how to make a website. The government may not need real estate support, and that is absolutely not true. This is the U.S. Army asking for someone to supply photography for their for their area. And I did look up different RFPs that are in Florida. If you happen to be in another state, when you go to fedbizops.gov, you can search for your particular area as well. So don't think that these are only for Florida. It's all over the entire United States. So here's another RFP that was posted, and this is an example of digital impression system. So this is something that's technically based, but I want you to know that a digital impression system is something very complicated that basically means to be able to connect a bunch of computers in their system. So this is an example of something that was posted for the Veteran Affairs Office. And here we go again. And this is for my real estate professionals, because I know a lot of my audience are in real estate and in construction. This is the government asking to lease office space. Now, how much energy do real estate professionals spend on trying to look for cold calling and looking to dominate your farm area? And look at the government asking you straight out, can you help me to lease an office space? It's right here in Clearwater. So again, here's video photography, the equipment that's available. Now, there's a number of different creative professionals who have this equipment, and what the government is asking for in this particular RFP is simply to have access to it, and they will pay for this stuff. They will pay. So let's get into what you need to actually pitch your business. When you are pitching for an RFP, I want to give you an example of government level local government RFP. So what I just showed you is coming from the federal government, and this is an example of Miami-Dade County. So Miami-Dade County, every single day, they post RFPs. They post requests for proposals. And this one is from the National Endowment for Humanities and Media Projects. So they will tell you inside of every single RFP exactly the type of information that they need from you. So this project is in support of documentary films, podcasts, radio. So they're looking for the ability to produce and give an example of a film or book, and that engages the public through multiple formats. So I know a lot of you all, and I recognize your names and your phone numbers and things like that. So I know that you all are very familiar with creating material and content. And I hope that you're taking time to read this slide, because right here it says that the development grant is $40,000 to $75,000 to enable media producers to collaborate with scholars to develop humanities content. Now that means if you're working on leadership content, you're working on coaching, consulting information, and you have the ability to put it in a medium that can be absorbed by many people. And thanks to the internet, thanks to webinars like this, thanks to mediums like Creative Live, and also Kindle, you can publish a book. There's all different types of ways for you to share this information. And look there, right on this RFP, production grants up to $650,000 and to support the production and distribution of documentary films, television programs, radio programs, and podcasts. So I know a lot of you all are looking at producing podcasts and producing content, or you're already doing this, wouldn't it be amazing to have support from your local government to produce that? I want you to think about what kind of content you could produce for $650,000. So here's another one. This is the U.S. Department of Health and Humanities. So this is about sexual risk avoidance education. So I recognize one of you all in the um, in the chat here, and I know that you're actively working on. And if you could mute yourself when you enter into the webinar. And I know that you're working on things that have to do with sexual health and sexual awareness for young kids who have been victims of abuse. Well, this is an example of an RFP that comes out pretty regularly, actually. And this RFP, if you can see here, is up to $450,000. So that means that $450,000 back when we first ran this webinar was available through the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Now, don't be discouraged by the due date there. I guarantee you, if you look at Miami-Dade County or you look at your local county government, you will see very similar grants and RFPs. So I want to go in here and continue showing you the type of information that you need. So the idea here is, number one, that you need to be looking for RFPs, the word RFP, the words grant, temporary, renewable. And why those things are important is because an RFP is a request for proposal for you to provide a service or to provide a product on a large level. When you're looking for temporary, the word contractor, it's about you being able to produce one project that is paid for. So this is an example of one project that has an award ceiling. That means that you will get one lump sum of money to provide a service. And when it comes to what it is that you need, you'll notice here in each one of these slides that the funder is very clear about what they expect to get from you. So in this particular grant, the National Endowment for Humanities and Public Projects, this one is all about being able to develop community conversations, exhibits, historic places, and highlighting that within your community so that other people can learn more about your local area. So this particular grant is available to present for 3 years, and eligible applicants include state, county, city, or governments, as well as nonprofits, as well as public businesses. So this is something that is available for anyone who fits that criteria. So you don't need to work very hard to figure out if you qualify for any of these grants or if you qualify for any of these RFPs, because it makes it very clear. Now this one is for Native American tribal governments. So this one is for a particular demographic of people. And that's why I wanted to show this to you so that you don't have to be overwhelmed by the idea of, well, how do I know if it applies to me? Well, they make it very clear who qualifies for each one of these grants and if you qualify for an RFP. So what are some of the free resources that you can start to use in order to find contracts for your business? Well, one of them is being able to get familiar with your local government. Every local municipality these days has a website. And if you would go to miamidade.gov, which is where I'm located in South Florida, I live in Miami, you can look right now, even if as soon as you get off this webinar, you can go to miamidade.gov, look at the left side of the screen right here, and it says grant opportunities. Miami-Dade posts new grants every week, and they do that regularly. They do it. Broward County does it. Your local government, no matter where you are, if you're in the United States, posts grants. And they do this so that you can take advantage of the needs that are needed by your local community. So this is what it looks like if you're looking at the interface. So the first one, if you're in South Florida, you can look at miamidade.gov, and the second one is fedbizops.gov. And this is the way the interface looks when you're on their homepage and you click on opportunities. Opportunities is the area where you can find new grants that are posted every week. So as you're looking here, you have the opportunity to search. And when you search, you can look for things in the last 90 days. You can look by location. You can even click and there's an area to look within your industry. Or you can search by grants and RFPs that are available for businesses, for small businesses, actually. There's a tab where you can look directly for that information. So there really isn't a lot of guesswork involved in this process. All you need to do is show up. So, one of the things that I think, we may overlook when it comes to looking for grants is Google. You can Google these things, and when you do, if you're not looking for RFPs that are coming from your local government, or you're not looking for RFPs that are coming from your local municipality, then that means you need to get familiar with some particular words, which I'm going to point out to you right now. If you're looking for a request for a proposal from a large entity, let's say Coca-Cola or Pepsi, or you're looking for, I just saw an RFP for, there's an organization called Girls of Tomorrow, where they're looking for a media company to help them with their launching their campaigns. Naturally, that's what I look for regularly for my own business. And what you will find is that the purchasing division, purchasing, write that down if you're taking notes. Your purchasing division, you're going to look for words like solicitation, or some organizations are as clear as day saying contract and bids. And then what do we see right over here? Requests for proposals. So again, there's not a lot of guesswork in this process. All you have to do is commit to showing up and find time in your schedule to look for this information, because it is out there. So this is a screenshot of the request for proposals that are set up by Broward County. Broward County is the county, if you're not in South Florida, because I realize some of you all are not from Florida who are on the call. Broward County is where Fort Lauderdale is, for example, and you'll see here that their requests for proposals have to do with construction and have to do with services. So we see here mosquito control. They're looking for someone to refurbish a lift station, control panels, an engraver, for example, concessions, bicycle operations. Like, for example, if you have a business that provides employment, you are a recruiter, for example, or you're providing jobs, this is a beautiful RFP to pursue. So, we talked about free resources for profit businesses. Let's talk about some of the free resources that are available for nonprofit businesses. For nonprofit businesses on a federal level, the best resource for you is grants.gov. Write that down, grants.gov. And they do have an awesome app, which I have downloaded their app. It's pretty great. It lets you search easily. I wouldn't use it to submit your grants, because a lot of government grants are pretty long and they're very detailed, and you don't want to submit it from your phone and have a mistake, because you will need to resubmit. So here's what it looks like inside of grants.gov to give you an idea of what the interface and what you're going to come into contact with. So this one is from the humanities here. This one here is for it's discretionary funds, which is important. Discretionary is as important as hearing renewable, because when you do get a grant, you will be responsible for reporting. Reporting means that you are telling the entity, in this case the federal government, what exactly you did with the money. So they want to see from you the impact that you made with the money that was given 1 year after the funds have been awarded. So in this situation, they're looking for learning resources and curriculum development. That is where they're trying to impact the citizenship at large. And you'll see here that this one, the closing date for this particular grant was October 17th. So it just passed. And the award ceiling is $100,000. And you'll notice that the award floor is $1. That's very typical. Don't let that scare you. It's very uncommon for you to actually get a $1 award, but it isn't uncommon for them to give multiple awards, maybe for $5,000 or $3,000 or $50,000 and so on and so forth. So being that the award ceiling is 100,000 coming from the government, do not assume that that means that you're going to get the full 100,000. Another resource for nonprofits that I think is really powerful and important for you, because unlike for-profit RFPs, bids, and solicitations, when you're looking for nonprofit grants, there are a lot of resources that come up in Google, and you will waste your time because a lot of these interfaces, the information is actually coming from Foundation Center. This is where the information is coming from. If you're in real estate, then you're familiar with the multiple listing system, the MLS, which actually feeds out to websites like Zillow and Trulia and all those different types of interfaces. It's the same system here. So inside of Foundation Center, what they have is a foundation map, which I encourage you all to look at. It's a really cool tool that they offer. So what it does is it shows you exactly how much money is given away in any particular area. So when I was looking at this, I was looking globally, and I just looked at $8 million that had been given out in grants and $2.5 trillion that was available. So think about that. There was $2.5 trillion available, but only 8 million was awarded. And again, that has everything to do with the fact that people do not ask for this money. So it just sits there. One of the other things that I want you to please be aware of and to avoid is the lie that people do not need your services. That is absolutely untrue. Absolutely untrue. There are only two services that do not go out for RFP, and I will tell you what they are. And if your business happens to fall under that, then that's okay. There's always another means to build your business. The first one are legal services. Legal services very rarely go out for RFP. The other type of service that does not and cannot go out for RFP are financial services. So if you're in finance, then you're under several different regulations, and your business, your service, will not go out for RFP. If you don't fall under those two, then someone needs your services. Also keep in mind that someone will get the deal. You believing the lie that your business doesn't go out for RFP only opens up opportunity for other people. Someone will get that RFP. The government, your local government, these entities, all they're going to do is delay the deadline until someone fills their request, because their pain point is not going to go away until someone like you steps up to offer a solution. I want to let you know, when we talked about that person who was able to close the $628,000 RFP, that he didn't have any prior experience working with RFPs. All he did was look at the criteria that was available on the request, and then he filled out the form and submitted it. And I don't want to lie to you and say that it was an easy process, because it wasn't. He was actually denied twice. He had to resubmit the same information 3 different times so that the services were positioned properly and so that the numbers were right for him to get the RFP. But I want you to recognize that he was one small business owner with only a staff of 5 people and was able to submit the RFP 3 times and still get it. That should sound like a huge opportunity to you, because that means that most likely nobody else was submitting. He was the only option. And so they took the person who stood up to be counted. So I want you to recognize what your strengths are. We talked about, when you're deciding, are you going to provide a service or are you going to provide a product, and understand where your strengths really lie so that you can amplify that in your messaging and so that you can make that same statement across all of your different mediums. Because what will happen when you do submit for an RFP is that the entity that it is going to vet you, they're going to ask for information, but they're also going to hit Google just like we would to find out, what is it that you do, what have you done in the past, that kind of stuff. Now, that doesn't mean that you wouldn't get the RFP because you haven't done it before, but know that they are going to look. Bruce, that's a really good question. You asked, does insurance fall under financial services? No, it does not, because I've seen RFPs for insurance, not only for particular types of insurance depending on the industry, but I've seen RFPs for organizations that are looking for someone to handle the like employee insurance within their organization. So yeah, I have seen that while I'm looking for RFPs for my clients. So one of the other things that I want you to be aware of when it comes to pursuing these RFPs is being open to collaboration. When you're going after a RFP, especially if you fall under a minority business, and a minority business is a women-owned business, sometimes there is an actual thing called a special category where depending on where your actual business's zip code is, you may actually fall under what is determined to be a distressed location. And if your business is in a distressed location by map, then you don't qualify as a minority business, you qualify as a special business, but you qualify for special benefits. And one of those benefits is that 5% of all federal RFPs, bids, contracts have to go to businesses that fall under minority or special case businesses. So that also means, and I want you to listen up closely because this was something that was done recently in this administration toward the end part of last year, is that if two businesses pitch for an RFP and they are both a special business or a minority business, did you know that they automatically get the RFP? Automatically. Now that means, let's say there's an RFP that's $5 million. Okay, you and another person, another professional who's a small business owner bids for the contract. Both of you all are in special case situations. Both of you all are minority-owned businesses. Both of you all will get the bid. Also, keep in mind that just because your business is a small business doesn't mean that you cannot provide the services. We looked at one of the RFPs that are active right now for someone who's looking for Yamaha rentals. I believe it was the U.S. military that was looking for Yamahas to use. Now, nothing keeps you as a business owner from reaching out to another business owner who has access to several different Yamaha motorsports and going in on the RFP together. Keep that in mind. Collaboration is key for you when it comes to closing in on a number of these contracts. You don't have to provide the service on your own. So our plan for today, what happened? Okay, so our plan for today was to go over some keywords to make sure that you know what's needed for you to pitch for your business, to know where to go to find free resources, to look for contracts as a for-profit business, and then where to go for funding services for nonprofit businesses, and then to avoid rookie mistakes that really do kill the deal. Now, I've worked with all of these different businesses, for profit and nonprofit. I've been highlighted in a number of different mediums for the work that I do and the services that I provide to my clientele. And I want you to know that as you're going after these different opportunities, that these deals are ready and these people are willing to work with you. So definitely do not let this pass by. There's so many different entities that are there for you. So number one, to look at their federal options, look at Google, take advantage of Foundation Center, and I want to offer you a offer for 48 hours. And what this is, and when I provide this service for clients, usually I do it for $1,800, and this is a contract closer program. So what that means is that I go through these different entities, these different resources, paid and unpaid. I showed you the free resources, but there are some paid resources available as well. And I look for deals for you. I look for contracts for you. So what this contract closer program includes is a 13-point assessment call where we can talk about the types of services that you offer and understanding what is the value that you're giving and who is the best entity for you to go after. Because for some of you, it would make sense for you to go after some grant opportunities, and for some of you, it would make sense for you to go after federal contracts or local contracts. Then to make sure that you have a directory list of identified RFPs for your business, specialized just for you, and a business profile checklist so that you know what to put together to pursue that RFP. Because while I'm very proud of our guy who was able to close the $628,000 RFP from our last month's call, he did get denied 3 times. And there were a couple of things that were pretty obvious that he could have fixed, and it could have made the deal go through a little bit faster. So, in addition to that, we'll offer you 30-day support through my team to be able to help you to prepare and to pursue some of these opportunities. So the contract closer program, I'm going to offer it to you, which is usually $1,800. Today, I'm offering it for the next 48 hours for $1,150. So that fast action bonus is I'm also going to include some of our most highly requested items from Flourish Media, like our 30-day content calendar, which is really powerful to help you to be able to speak to the right messaging. So when someone is Googling you as you pursue these contracts, you'll be able to give social proofing to your business. So I want to thank you all so much, and I'm going to open up the chat box so that we can answer some of your questions and be able to give you some solutions to your business. So that's the contract closer program. If you'd like to pursue that, then you can go to the link there and get started. I'll also send an email out to everyone who did RSVP for this webinar so that you'll have an opportunity to take advantage of that deal within the next 48 hours. So I am done. This is our webinar, and you all, the floor is yours to ask the questions that you need answers to. So I'll go ahead and unmute everyone, and you can go ahead